Alright, so here we go with part 2. I'm going to pull this chain loose down to the first one. And we're going to start this with a chain of 4 and do what's called working in rounds, which means that you're going to crochet in a round circle. So we're going to do our beginning chain 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do one more 5 so you can actually see what's going on. So when you're working in rounds, you want to try and keep this part flat. So see those V's right there? You want to keep those nice and flat. And then what you want to do, let me see if I can get closer. You want to go back into this one right here, this first one. Wrap that over there. Pull that through both of those, like that. Now you have this nice little round circle to work with. So, it's time for your second stitch, which is called a double crochet stitch. So, to make a double crochet stitch, you do 2 chains. 1, 2 to get it started. Some people do 3. I'll show you why in a minute. Some people choose 3. So what you want to do, wrap towards you. Go through the center of this hole and pull this yarn back through the center here. So now you've got 3 pieces of yarn on your hook. Wrap towards you, pull through 2, 1, 2. That's why it's called a double crochet, and you do that twice. 1, 2. So now let's do 10 of these. That's 2. It's 3. Wrap. Push through the center. Pull through. Pull through 2. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. Come on, get through 2. That's 7. Now, what I do to make it a little easier, I'll show you here. Some people try and pull straight through. You can see right there, it's going to catch. So what I do, I actually turn this hook down this way. And when I turn it, and I can get under the yarn, pull through 2, through that little V space right there. See what I mean? Because if it's like this, you're going to catch that. But if you turn it over and pull that yarn through, it's easier. And this is what they mean on a pattern when you see it's a working in the round. You make your beginning chain, connect it end to end, and then just use this center mark to go through to work it in the round. Now, to finish a row, you're going to see here you've got 1, 2, 3. So what I do, 1, 2, I push through this one. Let me see if I can show you here if it'll zoom right. You'll have two pieces of yarn on top, like that. So you pull through that one and that one. That is a slip stitch. I'll show you again. Just, you can push through, grab this, and when you pull through all of this together, that's called a slip stitch. See how that blends in? So I'll pull this one out. This camera doesn't adjust that fast. So on working in rounds, now to expand this circle, what I do, 1, 2, 3. Now I turn this over. This is actually what keeps it even. So I'll wrap once. I'll put 2 of these double crochet stitches in the next stitch. Come on. Then I'll put 1 double crochet stitch here. And then I will do 2 double crochets in the next one. So basically I'll have 1, 2 in here, 1 in here, 2 in here, 1 in here, 2 in here, 1 in here, all the way around. That way your circle increases and stays nice and flat as it goes around. Now, working in the round like this is like good for hats and purses and skirts and basically anything that has a round or cylinder shape to it. I have a tendency to work in the round a lot because of the skirts and dresses that I make. So yeah, as I go around, you can see that it's nice and flat and it's not turning into a cylinder. So if I were to just go around on this circle, it would turn into a cylinder. I don't want to do that yet. So what I want to do is go around as much as I can, and this is how you make hats. You get this circle to the circumference of your head. Like if it's 7 inches, then you make a 7-inch circle, and then you just go stitch, 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 without what's called an increasing double crochet stitch. That's what it is. So this is a single stitch, and this next one here would be considered an increasing double crochet stitch. It's also called a V-stitch, a double crochet V-stitch, because that's what it looks like. So I'll put a time lapse up right after this one of me making the hat, and then I'll show you how fast it is now that you know how this works. Alright, so here we go with a nice flat round. Like I said, where you've got the 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2 pattern all the way around. You can see how it's nice and flat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go around and start creating this cylinder shape so that it can be a hat when you put it on. Alright, so here's what I was meaning about creating that cylinder shape. See, if I do 1 for 1 and go around, you can see how it's creating this kind of bold, like B-O-W-L, bold look, to where now this will just come straight down, and then that's how hats are made at that point.